I am tuned in
the Old Testament
to
reading,
the funeral
and I'm going to be reading
where Reverend Al Sharpton will be giving the eulogy for Stephon Clark, our family, and our church family and our community here in Dothan, Alabama, Ashford, Alabama, and across Houston County and the state of Alabama. We send our condolences and our prayers to that family, Stephon Clark, who was killed at the hand of police officers in Sacramento, and he was unarmed. I just want to chime in for a moment and let you know that it's important for us to take time to focus on these lost lives. Don't let anyone convince you that simply because a man who's done a lot of work on gun violence and against gun violence and dealing with trying to get sensible gun legislation passed here recently, leading the March for Our Lives, simply because Dr. Kenneth Sharpton Glasgow is dealing with an unfortunate situation connected to gun violence. Don't let anyone convince you that the ministers, the civil rights community, the leaders here in Houston County, in Alabama, this is largely because of the work of Dr. Glasgow, the Mecca, one of the most influential areas in the entire state of Alabama when it comes to human rights. And so don't let anybody convince you that we don't care about these lives. Black lives do matter to black people. They certainly matter to us. But what is important for us to begin to pivot our focus to now, because even the death of BRIUNNA Jennings Reeves is in the hands of this right-wing Republican establishment that continues to refuse to put common sense gun legislation on the floor and get it passed. We have Martha Roby, a representative right out of Alabama. She came down to Dothan, Alabama amidst all of the media exposure surrounding Al Sharpton's brother, Pastor Glasgow, and the killing of BRIUNNA Jennings Reeves. And what does she do? She doesn't say a word about Alabama being the second state for the highest gun rate for deaths by guns. She says not a word about the movement in the state legislature to try to make it easier for folks to get their hands on weapons, including assault weapons, and not have to carry a permit right here in Alabama. Instead, she goes to our students who are suffering all across this nation because of terroristic thugs who keep coming in and killing them. And Republicans like Martha Roby won't pass sensible restrictions and legislation to keep these weapons, these assault weapons that don't even have to be reloaded before killing several people, to keep them out of the hands of the wrong folks and to get them off of our streets completely. She goes to a school in Dothan, Alabama amidst all of this, the whole nation going back and forth over what we need to do about gun laws. And she wants to come to Dothan, Alabama, and Houston County in Alabama and talk to our students about internet safety. How? Shame on you, Martha Roby, who is a mother herself. Shame on you that you would come speak to our students amidst all of this, these issues on gun legislation and the lack thereof. And you want to talk to our students about internet safety? We don't even have them safe in the classroom yet. What about physical safety, Martha Roby? And so this is the issue, this game that the right-wing Republican establishment wants to play and try to paint Al Sharpton and put up pictures of Pastor Glasgow and Hillary Clinton and push it all across Fox News and all across the nation, while we are still awaiting for someone in the federal government and someone in Congress to come forth and help us get sensible gun laws and gun legislation passed, so that, and not only that, but to also make sure that we're able to hold accountable rogue police officers who kill innocent young black men who are unarmed. We're waiting on you. And so the question that we have now, since you want to take this and turn this into a political agenda, and then question whether Black Lives Matter to black people. Yes, BRIUNNA Jennings Reeves' life matters and mattered. Stephon Clark's life matters and mattered. And we ask everyone, say her name. Say her name, because it doesn't matter if it's a police officer killing and taking an innocent life, or if a pastor is implicated where an innocent life has been taken. This senseless violence still must stop, and it's still wrong. So say her name. All across the nation, we ask you to say her name. They don't want to focus on her, but say her name. BRIUNNA Jennings Reeves. And then after you say her name, say the name of Martha Roby. Because Martha Roby, we need you not to fail our children after talking with them about internet safety. When you get back to Washington, D.C., put sensible gun legislation on the floor so that these terroristic thugs who are killing majority white students won't be able to continue to come into our schools and kill our children. And so that we can have a chance to prevent the senseless violence, such as what happened to BRIUNNA Jennings Reeves. Coming right out of Houston County, right out of Dothan, Alabama, into Ashford, Alabama. This is Pastor John Whitehurst, pastor of KBI Christian Church, a dear friend of Dr. Kenneth Sharpton Glasgow. But I have a question for you, Republican establishment. I have a question for you, right-wing media. And it's similar to the question that you keep asking us when black-on-black crime happens. Most of these terroristic thugs that are coming in these schools have pale skin. The question is, do white lives matter to white people? Do white lives matter to white public officials, particularly in and out of the state of Alabama?